Thanks for joining us here at the Amplified Network. Your show will begin in just a few minutes, but first I want to go on ahead and shout out to our awesome sponsors. First, we have the Mouse Merch Box. It is an official Disney subscription box. It is $60 quarterly if you subscribe, or $70 per box. It's going to come with $120 to $150 worth of exclusive Disney apparel and merchandise, so definitely check that out. If you do decide that you want to check them out, we do have a coupon code for you. Coupon code is going to be Springs20 for 20% off of your order. Next, we have the Great Adventure Supply Company. Great Adventure Supply Company is really cool. They have a bunch of 80s and 90s themed pop culture themed Disney and theme park apparel. So if you're like me, you miss the 90s, you love that style. They recently released some new exciting additions to their store. Be sure to check them out. And we also have a coupon code for the Great Adventure Supply Company that's going to be Magic15 for 15% off of your order. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you and our sponsors. So stay tuned here on the Amplified Network. Your show will be coming up soon.
You didn't even wash your hands. Hey, I'm Austin.
And I'm Ryan. And this is the Spring Chat.
Where we talk all things Disney.
Resorts.
Shopping. Food. You can catch us at 8:30 on Thursday nights on
Facebook, YouTube,
Twitch, and now Spotify on Amplified Network.
Ready. Sorry.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Amp. I am here with 60 Minute Suspension. We're here with my great pal, companion, comrade, compadre. Yeah. T-Dub, Tyler Williams. T-Dub, what's up?
Yo, man, what's going on? Welcome, everybody, to 60 Minute Suspension. Very happy to have you. Got some cool topics tonight. It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a good time, and today's going to be an interesting one because we're going to be talking about a topic that pretty much everyone in America does if they like doing it, even though it's incredibly illegal in most states except for Colorado. And isn't there a couple other states?
I think right now there's like 13 other states. Actually, it's pretty legal.
Pretty legal. At this
I mean,
point.
literally Illinois right now is trying to pass it to where you can do it your own self and recreationally. So go ahead and introduce it, Aaron.
Yeah. So we're starting out with our first story today. Marijuana in the NFL? Question mark. Should marijuana be in the NFL? That's a huge question up for debate. I think you and I will have a little bit of fun with this one because it's pretty much lighthearted, realistically. I mean, if players are doing marijuana or partaking in marijuana, I mean, you got to think, what are the consequences to partaking in marijuana? Because it's basically them using it on themselves. It doesn't enhance anything. I would not say that it would ever give you a player advantage. It's not one of those type of drugs. So realistically, the only reason it would be banned in the league is because it's illegal in the states. But if states are starting to uplift that ban, you would think that the NFL would have to be open-minded to this, right?
I mean, I would think that the NFL needs to be open-minded to it. I mean, as well as America, but like it just eventually it just seems like it's on a path to where it's going to be a unanimous, type situation to where, it's all 50 states, that is doing it. So if that's the situation, then how could you make it? That would be like saying, going to the bar is illegal or having a cocktail is
right.
illegal or something like that. That's, you can't really toe those lines. But at the same time, the NFL does have its own complete set of substances that are banned. So I think they technically could, do this, but there's just so much benefits to it, No. So
yeah, and if I could say anything from, and I don't know how to put this, if I could say this from an opposite perspective, I feel like it's okay. I feel like it's easy to say, let the players do what they want to do. If they feel like marijuana helps them through their pain, helps them through like emotional stress, which we're going to get through some of these quotes. And some of the players talk about that. They talk about the emotional stress of playing in a league. I mean, you got to think about it. You train these young kids all the way through adulthood, if you become a professional player, to basically physically harm another human being and say it's okay. And not only that it's okay, you need to hit them harder, and mentally that puts a stress on you. So I can totally understand. So I'm going to play a little bit devil's advocate here. And, because the league has Roger Goodell, and Roger Goodell is basically the overseer, the overlord of the NFL. I have to give him credit because this is a stance that he stayed really strong to through this whole period, with all the states starting to change. Not all the states, but you said 13 states have already changed over to legalizing marijuana for medical purposes, most of them. But you said it like one or two of them are actually trying to make it recreational.
Well, yeah, I think Colorado's recreational. Washington is recreational. I think Illinois is on the verge of becoming completely recreational too. You can grow your own and enjoy it. And I don't think there is a limited amount that you can have, So like even in these states that are recreational, I think there's still like a limited amount that you can possess.
T-Dub, shout out to Robert Charles. He just said, "What's up, T-Dub?"
Yo, what's up, Robert?
Shout out.
Welcome on in, buddy.
But yeah,
thanks for joining in.
Yeah,
dude.
thanks for watching. So yeah, like you were saying, other states are starting to make it a full-fledged, hey, if you want to just smoke it, that's fine, which is fine. But when we look at the world of professional sports, is it safe to say that we see these athletes and put them at a higher standard than what, a civilian like us would go through, right? So with that mentality, you would assume, you don't want little kids growing up smoking marijuana. I don't think.
Right.
So if
Right.
if they're doing TV ads for marijuana, or if they're doing what's up, buddy? If they're doing this is Tyrion, everybody.
Aw.
What's up, Tyrion? Come here.
That's hilarious, dude. He's a cutie.
So
Aw.
yeah, like I was saying, professionally, but he's gonna knock on my earbuds. Oh, yep. Okay, so anyways, like I was saying, yeah, we put professional athletes on this higher standard. So with that being said, I'm sorry, I will pet you. With that being said, I think from a standard. Oh, okay, Mister. All right, you're realizing how high that is, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, you're like, oh boy.
He runs it.
There it goes. Attaboy. What a cutie. Tyrion just became famous. Hashtag Tyrion. That's doggy Tyrion.
That's doggy Tyrion.
So anyways, sorry, I'm totally distracted now because of Tyrion. But anyways, so yeah, like I was saying, we want to put these athletes at a higher standard. So I mean, like if let's say marijuana becomes legal in all 50 states, these guys can commercially sell this stuff on TV. So we're talking about ads, radio ads, stuff like that. And kids are going to hear this, should we be worried about that?
I don't think personally that the NFL has any influence upon marijuana, or like what the players do have any influence upon the kids doing it. There may be a little bit of an influence, but at this moment right now, it's kind of, at a point to where it's everywhere, and lots of kids already use it. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it. I don't even know if this is true, but I saw something the other day where like a state or like Colorado is like allowing some students to participate for health purposes.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But just, that's how spread out it is, my point. It's not gonna, I don't think what the players do, I think it's already hit like a really fast, moving. It's just taken off already. So it's just already so past the point to where the players can really even have any influence. But I do understand what you're saying. They are models. You don't ever picture an athlete smoking anything. Yes, that's like one picture you don't have is like athletes smoking a cigarette. You don't really picture them smoking weed because you think of an athletic person as a person who like completely uses their body as like a temple, so to speak. So it's not your picture of your, when you picture it in your head, it's not your role model, that's not a picture of a role model, I would say. But are they really that bad at people? I don't think so. I don't think it's that different from drinking alcohol. That's allowed.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good point.
Players do it. Players drink alcohol constantly.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if your name is Barry Church, and if you're in London, and it's like 12 hours from game time, and no big deal, but you're fighting for your playoff chances for the rest of the season at like week right. 6. No big deal, but just alcohol.
It's just alcohol. No, but well, you bring up alcohol, and Mr. Long, Chris Long, he talks about that. He actually brings that up. He says, I don't have the quote right in front of me, but he was on the Dan Patrick show last week, or now it's 2 weeks now, and he opened up about his, I wouldn't say love, but his appreciation for marijuana. And he talks about how a lot of players now know the system well enough to where they're not worried about the drug test anymore. As long as you're smart about it and you go about it the right way. He says that a lot of players smoke marijuana before and after, and that little time frame that they need to rehydrate their body or get all the THC. Is that right? The THC, is that what it's called?
Yeah, THC.
Yeah, THC out of their
I
system.
mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they also detect like whatever. There's other things that's in marijuana, like CBD is separate from THC.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can enhance like your cannabinoids in your body without using THC at all.
Yeah,
and you're not even high. It's just the medicinal portion of it is more so in the CBD, and the THC is the psychotic effect, or psychotic. I don't even like it just messes with your, not messes, but it just enhances your feelings and all the other stuff. So there's two different. Those are the big differences in weed. So I don't know if they test for CBD, if that's like something that they look out for. But as far as I know, that's a pretty legal thing, CBD in itself.
Okay. So yeah, continuing on from explaining that better to me. But yeah, as I was saying with the Chris Long statement, he was saying that a lot of players are learning the system, learning how to get past the drug test itself. And basically they won't smoke for like 60 days or whatever. And so he said because they're still in pain during this time, they'll go to pills, they'll go to alcohol, and they'll revert to that. And I mean, medically, that's not a good thing, obviously. Right. We drink to have fun, or some people drink just to, have a drink every once in a while. But some of these athletes literally do it to numb pain or to kind of escape from themselves mentally, which, if you really understand what they're going through, that's not a good thing, because that means that's a lot of alcohol. Plus, these are really big men, so that's going to take more alcohol to get them to that level, and pills. So that's kind of his point, is saying, let them have this marijuana for medical purposes and maybe even recreational, that's kind of his point. Now, me personally, like I was saying to you earlier, I want to play devil's advocate on this one, because I think it's easy, really easy for fans of marijuana to just say, dude, let them do what they want to do. Like if this helps them cope with what they're going through, let them cope with it. But for me, it's just like, it's so hard for me to just accept that mentality, because they get paid to do extraordinary things. Like, I'm not going to tune into the Olympics knowing that every single athlete smokes marijuana. Like, I'm not going to tune into, hey, buddy, I'm not going to tune into the UFC if I know that the two athletes are high. Like, it just, to me, I just feel like players not necessarily will abuse this, but I feel like if you give them the freedom to just, hey, I got a headache this week, let me smoke some marijuana, like, they could abuse it. And I don't know if you see it to that extent or not, but
I do. I understand what you're saying. There can be an abuse of it, but I want to point this out. You said it was very funny. You said Olympics, because what are the two greatest like Olympic athletes of our time, at least right now?
Yeah.
Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
Big marijuana users.
Yeah.
Big. I don't know. When they're training, or I don't know I don't know when they smoke weed, but Michael Phelps has been caught on camera ripping a bong.
Right.
I think Usain Bolt has definitely come out and said it. I mean, it's and that's hilarious. But look at I watched a interview with I want to say like Kenyon Martin and somebody else, and like two other people. It was who's the guy who has Matt Barnes, Kenyon Martin, Matt Barnes. It was like a Bleacher Report or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but three basketball players, and they were smoking weed while doing the interview, and they were talking about how much they smoked before the game and after the game, and like right before, like literally before the game.
Yeah.
So they would play basketball high. Like, and I mean, I'm saying that so dramatically, but at the same time, they were getting paid a lot of money. I mean, love what you do and everything, but you know, I get what you're saying in that aspect. Like, I mean, from what I understand about weed, like, it does not help you with athletics. I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I understand about it is it kind of like, you know, kind of slows you down a little bit. There are some relaxing aspects if you get a little anxious maybe before a game or something like that. I'm sure it could like cure, and maybe make you feel a little more fluid, and like maybe some of your, you know, sorenesses or whatever may benefit from it. But I don't think there is a big benefit from smoking or partaking in some sort of weed or anything before a game or any sort of physical activity.
And I
don't think it physically benefits you. I don't know.
And I think that's kind of like you're kind of pushing my point a little bit stronger, because it's like I don't think marijuana helps them, you know, physically. And you even said that it kind of slows them down, if anything, like slows the motor skills down. And that to me is where my point is like, because we know what marijuana does. I mean, if you haven't smoked marijuana, I don't encourage drug use unless it's legal, but I will say I have done it, and it has given me an incredible amount of munchies, and I'm pretty sure I've gained a lot of weight from marijuana.
But you're not as active as Michael Phelps. He eats 2,000 calories for breakfast, you know?
Yeah.
Or even more. So, like,
but even then, right? So he trains. He puts all this effort into training and getting ready. But if he takes a hit to relax or to calm down his nerves, isn't that kind of doing the opposite of getting pumped for a game or getting jacked for a game? You know, like, isn't the whole point to get your adrenaline going? So if you take a hit, wouldn't it do the opposite effect?
I don't know. It might get him in the zone too. You gotta bring that aspect. It might bring him back down to earth too. You know, because some of those things, if it's Olympics, you know, you're freaking out, bro.
Yeah.
No matter how many times you do it, you're freaking out. I mean, I'm not saying he did it before the Olympics. We don't know that at all. I'm not saying he did it training for the Olympics. I'm just setting up a situation.
Yeah.
Like.
Well,
that's half the reason people do it is because of high stress, right. or I mean, not half the reason, but like that is a good benefit of it, is that it brings you back down to earth, so to speak. So like you don't have I don't know, it brings you back down to reality to be able to face some things, I guess. I don't know, but that could be a situation. But you know, I doubt that he would do something like that before the Olympics. Do you know what I'm saying?
You would hope, you know.
You
would hope,
but
if it's there.
If he did it, my God.
See, but
my God.
But what if it, you know, like what if it slowed down a moment, you know, in history? Like, what if weed caused and we're going way off.
Oh, you're saying he could have even been better?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what do you want from him?
Well, that's the point. That's the point, right? He's a pure athlete who trains his whole life for this moment, and then the anxiety, everything gets to him, so he needs to take a puff. So, like, all those months and years of training has just, I won't say gone completely down the window because he's still competitive enough, but you're not at your peak performance, right?
I don't know. I just don't know that, you know? I just don't know that it's not your peak performance. I just don't know that it helps you as well. I don't know that it hinders you as much as it doesn't help you. That makes sense.
Okay, that's a good way of putting that. Continuing on with the story, the NFL and the NFL Players Association, if you don't know the NFLPA, they are a bunch of fun people. It's a bunch of ex-players who have a lot of gripes against Roger Goodell, but sometimes they meet in the middle. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Players Association, they are out for the players. I mean, they don't get any benefit because they're all retired players. Well, no, some of them still play, I think, actually.
Right.
So, anyways, but yeah, they can join together with Roger Goodell to, you know, help the league get better, for the players, obviously. But the NFL has to be careful because they have a business to run. They have, to keep standards high to keep people watching, especially in the past couple of years, the NFL has seen a drop in ratings. They're struggling on that part. So they have to be careful because they have a lot of sponsors. They have a lot of people who tune in. And, I mean, dude, and not to get political or anything, but you have to think at a political standstill, this marijuana topic obviously was going to hit the NFL eventually. But now that it's becoming legal throughout the states and you have one side, the right wing and the left wing, just butting heads over this whole topic, you know it's going to trickle into the NFL. And the NFL is going to see some serious either consequences or benefits from it. From one side, you'll see maybe longevity in players, more happiness from the players if you allow them to have marijuana. But on the flip side of that, you might lose a lot of sponsors. You might not see Gillette as being one of their main sponsors. You might not see, Jerry Jones. I don't even know where Jerry Jones stands on marijuana, but you could see him, really standing out against this.
I think, at some point it's going to be a unanimous, United States decision. But then at that point, the NFL then has to make a decision because I don't think that they can. I don't think that they can make a decision now. I think they have to stay where they're at with it for the most part. I don't think they have to be as punishable on it as strict on the rule, if you get what I'm saying. But at the same time, if something is egregious, like if something is just blatant, I think they would have to do something. But we saw Cam Newton after a Super Bowl smoking a blunt,
right
at the party. Like it was clear as day, just passing it around, like everybody's friends. So, and nothing happened to him over that. So I don't know if the NFL has already kind of gotten on a relaxed, rule. Some players even abuse things like alcohol before a game. So if you make it legal, does that happen before your game? I'm stuck on the game thing. But anyways, you were about to make.
No, you're good. Well, the reason I bring up the Player Association and the NFL is because they are in talks right now of implementing a procedure or some type of system for players to use it as a medical purpose only, which this will be huge. This is huge. Okay. Like it's not just saying, hey, you can use marijuana when you have a headache. Like this is legitimate. Like, okay. Part of your rehabilitation is, you're allowed to have some weed while you work on your leg or you work on your concussion or something like that, which is really cool.
It would be like rehab purposes only, but not like a prescription based, like regular prescription based purpose.
Right.
But only rehab purpose. So like if you have but you're always hurt in the NFL.
Exactly. So that's the other thing.
The normal person can claim a headache and get medical marijuana.
So this is the committees that they're breaking them up to. There's two committees coming out. One of the committees is one committee is on pain management, and the other one is on mental health and wellness. So they're splitting up the two, and they're going to differentiate. Ooh, I worked on that one. That was good. Differentiate. I messed it up the second time. But one committee is going to focus on pain and rehabilitation, and then the other one's going to be mental health and wellness. So this is going to be interesting. You bring up a really good point in the NFL. Everyone's always hurt. I mean, even the kickers. The kickers are hurt.
If you play one season of any sort of contact sport, you're gonna experience some sort of injury. Like 6 games of any sort of soccer. 6 games of soccer, you're gonna get hurt. 6 games of football, you're gonna get hurt. Anybody's gonna claim anything, no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So here we go. Eugene Monroe, ex-Jaguar player, ex-Ravens player. He was an offensive lineman drafted to the Jaguars. He was good. He quoted and said back in 2017, This pain is never going away. My body is damaged. I have to manage it somehow. Managing it with pills was slowly killing me. Now I'm able to function and be extremely efficient by figuring out how to use different formulations of cannabis. Interesting. Marijuana is a whole field. I mean,
By different formulations, he meant like bong, blunt. Just kidding.
dab.
Dab.
Let's see. Oh, Zachary
Joint.
Wheat chimes in.
Oh.
Zachary Wheat.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, he chimed in. Cam Newton blazing it. Let them smoke weed. You run 6 times in a row and you'll be sore.
True.
Zach, thank you for watching, man. Yeah, Zach. All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, okay. All I'm saying is, as adults, right? As adults, it's easy for us to just be like, dude, you guys can do literally whatever you want. But me growing up, I remember watching my heroes, and they could do no wrong, man. I never once saw a play. And granted, we grew up in a different generation where social media was not a thing at all.
Right.
Right. we grew up where like Facebook didn't exist, Twitter, none of this stuff.
Yeah.
So to be fair, if they were doing bad things, we didn't know about it,
Right.
So now it's even easier for kids to just go on Twitter after they're following, Aaron Rodgers or someone else. And like you said with the Cam Newton situation, he's one of the biggest role models for kids. Like kids
Right.
freaking love this guy.
They love Cam Newton.
And to see your hero, just start smoking weed. I mean, in my head, it's such a bad image in my opinion. Now if you don't know me, I'm not a political guy, so my stance on marijuana, I really could care less. But when we're talking about sports, I do feel like there's a different standard. Like, legitimately do feel like that. Now, okay, I'm going to use Lance Armstrong as an example, only because what he did, he obviously enhanced his body to cheat, and then he did this on a regular basis. But he hit it so freaking well, and he had kids, adults, everyone in the sporting community loved this guy, freaking loved this guy. But then he found out that he was doing drugs, and he ruined his life first off. But then, everyone just turned on him. Now, obviously that drug is way different than marijuana, but my point being is when a kid first ever sees his hero smoking something, we don't even see players smoke cigarettes, and you pointed that out. We don't see players ever do that.
Blake Bortles did. So.
Okay. Yeah, I never saw that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he even said it
Yeah. But
yeah.
yeah.
Go
What
ahead.
were you gonna say?
No, it's not worth it. Go ahead.
But no, just my point being, I just feel like these guys should be held at a higher standard. And medical issues, yes, absolutely. If the league passes it and they say it's okay, cool. That's all good and dandy. But until it's passed, or even if it doesn't get passed, I still feel like the players should have respect for the people that appreciate them. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I understand that. I do understand that. It just comes down to that role model thing. You gotta understand. They have to understand, and for some reason, a lot of players don't, that they're automatically a role model with the job. So, it just is what it is. You gotta do it. Speaking of role model, what do you say we move on to our next topic, which is also an NFL issue? Right? You want to just touch on that, or you want to go on to another?
No, we can totally talk about Zeke. So if you didn't hear, this happened near the end of the month of May. Ezekiel Elliott was in Las Vegas at a concert, and basically he was handcuffed, and detained, but not arrested. You got to understand that when you see this, because there's video of him. TMZ published the video showing Elliott having a disagreement with a woman and following her around a parking lot. The disagreement never became physical, based on the video clips that you can see. But Elliott does appear to be really upset, and then he ends up walking away from her. Okay.
Yeah.
Later in the video, though, Elliott confronts an event security guard. They were at a concert, and he says this, "You got something to say?" And then he uses his right forearm to push the guard. So he actually does touch someone. He pushes the guy into the metal railing, prompting the guard to actually fall over. All right. And if you've ever seen a picture of Zeke, like, he's a big dude. Like, he's short, but that dude is jacked. Okay. So, I mean, I'm not trying to get pushed by him. And then in the video, you hear him say, I didn't do nothing. That's actual verbatim what he said. As he's walking away, his hands in the air. So he's walking away kind of like in a surrender mode. And then the video ends by showing Las Vegas police handcuffing Elliott, escorting him away from the scene. And Elliott's actually not resisting arrest at all. So like he takes the handcuffs and he just walks away peacefully. After that, the police department was receiving requests for information about the incident that occurred, and they went on to say on Sunday, May 19th, at approximately 3 a.m., Las Vegas Police Department officers working at EDC observed from a distance an adult male, later identified as Elliott, push a security guard to the ground. 2 officers approached and placed Elliott into handcuffs while they investigated the incident. The security guard, who was the victim of the misdemeanor battery, refused to press charges, and officers escorted Elliott a short distance away, and he was released. And then security misconstrued it and overreacted to the situation. He was cuffed as a precautionary measure. He was released with no charges. He left Vegas that night, and he went on to his youth football camp in Dallas that Sunday. So, to give you history on Elliott, Elliott's only been in the league 3 years, I think, or he's going into his 3rd year, something like that. He has been in trouble with the NFL before. He was suspended. He was
Jalen's draft. Jalen Ramsey. So 3 years, yeah.
3 years, yeah. So he was suspended in 2017 following a lengthy investigation surrounding an alleged domestic violence case against his then ex-girlfriend that stemmed back in 2016. Okay. Elliott was never arrested or charged in the incident, but the league actually levied its suspension for the violation of personal conduct policy, saying its investigators were of the view that there is substantial and persuasive evidence supporting a finding that Elliott engaged in physical violence against his ex-girlfriend. Now, to be fair, the NFL, from my understanding, if I remember this correctly, they had one investigator, and he literally only talked to the ex-girlfriend. Like he didn't follow up with any of the other investigators. He didn't follow up with any of like what was actually written down and all the proof. He literally went to the ex-girlfriend and talked to her, and that's how he came up with that statement. So, that is the situation that happened those years ago. So, with that being said, we bring that back around because you need to know that going into this situation because the NFL hasn't decided on the issue.
Right.
You know, Zeke is on video at an event, physically touching someone, pushing them to the ground, and then he.
So what?
Yeah.
What's your take on it? Let me hear your opinion on it. What do you have to say about it? Do you think you?
I mean, honestly, I think they should just let it go. He wasn't arrested. They said it multiple times. You know, they said that he was detained just to, make sure the situation was safe. And then they just, let him go. They were like, no one's pressing charges on you. Just move on. If anything, it wasn't an NFL situation. Like, yeah, well, see, now I'm going into a whole nother realm with the weed. But, okay. If I was Roger Goodell, I would have a meeting with him that was known public, that everyone would know that we had a meeting, and I would basically give him a slap on the wrist. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I mean, but what would be the slap on the wrist? Like what? Like a $5,000 fine?
I wouldn't even fine him. I don't know. I don't think I would fine him. Like I just think I would just be like, look, man, this is your yellow card. This is your warning. This is your whatever. I mean, I don't think I could find him because
you flipped his card on him.
yeah, literally just
You made him go from white to yellow.
bah. Yeah. No, I
I was thinking elementary school where you flipped.
the elementary. Yeah. Tyler Goodflame. Anthony, you're going straight to blue.
Yeah. Ooh, blue.
Yeah, blue.
That was one
Blue
step
was a
away
rough
from red.
one. Blue was a rough one.
Wasn't it weird how it went from my card system, which we went to the same school, but I don't know what your teachers did, was white, yellow, green, blue, red?
Yeah. It was like blue and then red, yeah.
Yeah.
I never understood the blue.
I never understood the color situation.
Yeah. I mean, it was all
Like,
dumb.
Why don't we start with green? But I don't know.
Yeah, why
Anyways.
does it have to be white? Racist?
Yeah, but it makes sense because white's pretty white's like clean and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
So
No, it's
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. But yeah,
anyways, so you give him like a slap. on the
okay,
wrist.
yeah, I would give him a fine. I don't think has the NFL ever fined someone $5,000? Like I feel like it would legitimately have to be like $10,000-$20,000.
Well, players get fined all the time, like all the time. So for like, even if you probably don't hear about half the fines that come out, but it could be like something as stupid as like the wrong or dress code enforcement. Like they wore the wrong type socks or some shit like that. It's stupid stuff. So those can be smaller fines, like $1,500 to $5,000. So yeah, they get fined pretty small.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's what I would do. I would just fine him like $5,000. Maybe say, hey, I need you to go do this kid charity event because you like kids so much. Something like that.
Yeah.
That would be my punishment, honestly. But I will say this though, the NFL is terrible at punishing people. Like they gave him a 6-game suspension on a hunch from his ex-girlfriend. Like they didn't do their due diligence to make sure that did he actually really do this, because he's not even getting charged with anything. So clearly, and he couldn't pay off the police officers. Like this is a real deal, to a domestic violence charge. And so if they don't charge him with it, like legitimately he didn't do it, like they would have found proof, because they always are on the side of the victim in those cases.
But
I
forget what was it. I don't think the situation was like the cops were called. I think it was like a friend turned in proof. Like a friend was like, I don't think it was like, oh, the cops were on hand and she decided not to press charges, but now she's bringing it up. I think she was like trying to hide it, and then a friend said, no, fuck this, like let's turn his ass in, or some shit like that. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't remember.
I don't know if it was like, so that's why it was that ugly, because it was but that also tried to happen recently with, who was the running back? Not Le'Veon Bell.
I don't know.
Not Saquon Barkley. It was a running back.
Let me look it up
And
while you
like
figure it out.
There's like pictures and everything. Anyways, but while you look that up, it was another running back, and it was LaShawn McCoy.
LaShawn McCoy. As soon as you said it, it came up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So and that turned out to be a fraud, and that was the exact same situation that I just described. His girlfriend or whatever friend sent pictures and turned LaShawn McCoy in supposedly, but it all turned out to be a hoax apparently.
Yeah. That's literally what it was.
But I don't think Zeke's was as much of a hoax as LaShawn McCoy's was.
And I'm not saying that.
I think
I don't know if Zeke did it or not.
Yeah.
I'm. This.
But
this
he wasn't
stuff
charged with it.
But he wasn't charged with it exactly. But
Yeah.
tough choices on that topic. I will say this though: I know that the NFL did not do their due diligence either in their investigation, because I know for a fact they only went to the person who alleged the attack, like the person who called the cops originally. They spoke with them, they saw the pictures, And that was it. They didn't talk to any police officers. That was the big issue with that. They didn't speak with any investigators of the actual case. They didn't talk to anybody. They literally did their own investigation to the source and then just listened to the source only. And that was it. So that was the issue with that.
Maybe this is speculation, but maybe they settled outside of charges. And there was some very damning evidence that never got put public, maybe like a phone recording or something like that. And they just decided to split ways. I won't press charges. Give me money, blah, 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 whatever, however you choose to settle it. That's speculation. So what I'm saying is we don't know. We don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so get back to it. I think for the topic at hand, though, Ezekiel Elliott, I think he's got to straighten out.
He does have to straighten out. Yeah.
He's got to tighten up. Like, I don't think you need to suspend him. Like I said, I'm not sure if you need to fine him, like you said. But he's got to straighten out. I mean, he's the girl he was with. Oh my gosh, man. I mean, I know they're at EDC, but did you see like how like both like it was just like if her mom saw that. Like her in handcuffs in a thong see-through dress.
Oh man!
Like please no video and please no. She's got her handcuffs in the thong, and then that's just not a good look. It's just not a good look for anybody.
It's really not.
And it's EDC, so you're kind of messed up.
Yeah, you're doing some stuff.
I've never been to EDC, but I've never met anybody who went to EDC and wasn't any kind of.
Because the players are under contract, do you know this? I don't know if I don't know this. Can the league suspend you if they know that you're actually doing drugs in the off season because you're under contract?
They can't. I mean, they can't really prove it. They can't prove what you intake until you take a test. So if you get tests, I don't know if you get tested in the off season. Maybe we have to ask Chris Long, but I don't think that they can say. I don't think that they can say, "Hey, Cam Newton, we saw you smoking a blunt. We know that was marijuana." They can't say that. That could very well easily be, tobacco inside that cigarillo.
Yeah,
it's not. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be marijuana.
Right.
So, hey, blah, 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 we saw you eat those shrooms. Oh, that's just the delicacy I had on my food. What my point is like they can't prove it until they test you. When they test you, I don't know. So.
Well, we're both on the same topic on that. I think we're both at a consensus. I don't think anything should happen to him, but absolutely, you need to figure out your life, man. I mean, you're only three years into the league, and you're already pushing guys down. You're facing like anytime you're in the NFL's eyes or their eyesight, it's not a good thing. And as it's starting to become a consistent thing, we hope that he figures it out because he is fantastic for fantasy football. So
he's really good. He's a really good talent. So I hope he figures it out for sure. And what'd you think about that push down though? I'm glad. I'm really happy the guy didn't press charges. If he pressed charges, I would have been pissed.
I don't even think he pushed him. Like it looks like he kind of just like nudged him. Honestly, like I think he tripped more than anything. I don't think he actually got pushed down.
He stone stumbled. You know what I mean?
Like he kind of. I think he was thinking about it. It was like one of those like I'm gonna think about falling down moments where like, there's a camera on me. I'm a security guard. This isn't gonna look good for my resume. Like, you know what I mean? Like one of those moments. But anyways, speaking of athletes, because this is what our show is all about, is just drama, which I love about this show. Talking about athletes, let's talk about the athlete of the verbal kind, Mr. Drake himself.
Oh, yeah.
In headlines again.
The Drake curse is back, baby.
It's back. This is incredible. Okay, the first time you brought this up to me, Tyler, I was like, this is really like the Madden curse. Like, You
didn't reel it in.
I didn't, but watching his antics these past couple of events that he's been at, I'm all on board, man. I'm all on board. I don't want anything to do with Drake ever. Like, I'm scared to listen to his songs. I'm so scared.
Let's just go ahead and say that the finals really are kind of boring. Not really, but like we're just more so focused on Drake.
Yeah.
Like we're more so focused on the lint he's picking out of Steph Curry's hair. Like it's
That's ridiculous. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on television. It's not the most ridiculous thing, but a grown man picking at another man's hair at a sporting event. What is happening?
When I first saw
My girlfriend's looking at me like I'm crazy. This happened on national television, babe. A grown man, aka Drake, picked lint out of a basketball player's hair, and he's not even rooting for the guy.
no
Like it's an opposing
while
player.
wearing his dad's jersey.
Oh yeah, while wearing his father's ex jersey. So the player's father used to play for the team that they're playing against now, and so Drake wore that old jersey to the game.
Oh, Steph
But-
Curry, yeah, Steph Curry's dad, Del Curry. Drake wore Del Curry's jersey. It was that his antics are insane. Now, if he really does curse the if he really does curse the Raptors, it's over for him. Like this is it. He's on a big stage right now. Like as far as his fanhood goes,
Yeah,
his fanhood's over. You can't be a fan after this. You cannot be a fan. It's
I
over.
mean, can you be a fan of Drake after this? Like, man, I don't know.
Yeah, I can because he's very entertaining right now.
He's very
I can definitely
entertaining.
be a fan of. He's super entertaining. It's just I've never seen a man so seriously talk shit to somebody and then pause in the middle of talking shit to look dead. Not he stopped looking at Steph Curry, but started looking at the side of his head and pick out the lint. And not only after that, he put the lint on eBay.
Wow,
Drake is
wow.
He's not only like cursed right now, but he's also king troll. He's trolling hard.
Wow.
He's trolling hard. It's impressive
Uh,
what he's doing. It's impressive what he's doing. I
So
really
he
gotta
did
say,
that, but then he also was talking smack to one of the golden players too,
Yeah.
right?
He's been talking smack to I think Draymond Green. Him and Draymond have been getting into it. I feel like Drake's getting the better of him. And Draymond keeps saying he's pushing it off and he's not getting in his head, but like he's having big reactions in a basketball game to somebody who's not even in the game. Like
Think about that. He's getting mad. It's like Happy Gilmore, and the guy keeps calling him a jackass. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. You
you will miss
jackass!
this putt, jackass.
You will not make this free throw. You jackass!
Yeah, so Draymond's great. Drake is in Draymond's dome. That's for sure. Man, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah. So if you
So-
haven't kept up with the finals, I mean, the Raptors have made it, which is great for them. And Toronto, they won the first game by 9 points, 118 to 109, and then the second game was Sunday, and the Warriors took that 109 to 105. So game 3 is tomorrow. If you're an NBA fan, make sure obviously you're going to be watching already. But T-Dubs, are you rooting for the Raptors? Are you rooting for the Warriors? Are you rooting for Drake? Where you stand at?
Honestly, I kind of like the Warriors. I'm indifferent, to be truthful. People hate dynasties, but I'm not one to hate a dynasty. I am one to appreciate, what happens. I'm one to appreciate. I hate the Patriots, but I appreciate the Patriots. Like,
No, I hate the Patriots. Anyways,
I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots, but truthfully, I hate them for all their winning, but I respect them for how they've done it. Honestly,
hey, we're living in that time. That's cool. It just sucks that I hate them. So
yeah,
no, but
So I'm not. So I kind of am indifferent, is what I'm saying. Indifferent to it. I could if Kawhi wins it for the Raptors, I'd be happy, very very happy for him because he deserves it. Kawhi Leonard definitely deserves it. If Golden State wins it, I'm all right. That's fine. That's cool.
I also feel, man, I don't know. We're going to a whole different tangent. I don't want to go down that road. We have 10 minutes left. All right. I do want to talk about this. This was a cool story. You sent this to me, and this is a really good story. So on our very first episode, we talked about Antonio Brown and Juju kind of going, battle of words over social media. Antonio Brown calling out Juju for, reaching out to him while he was in college, which doesn't even make sense. And Juju, responding back to him pretty, like kind of like a man, just like, I don't know why you're calling me out on this. Like, I was a college player who really appreciated your skills and I wanted to learn more. you know. And they just kind of kept going back and forth there, and nothing really happened of it. And Juju, if you don't know, the reason all that started was because I think he won MVP on his team for the previous year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's a pretty popular player in Pittsburgh. Well, this is cool because Juju went to prom. He went to a high school prom. This was a cool little story. Pittsburgh Steelers fan found himself without a date to his high school prom last week, so he invited Juju Smith. And the Steelers wide receiver said yes. Juju posted pictures of the night on Twitter on Monday, 3 days after he attended Charioters Valley, Pennsylvania High School. With student Anthony. He went to prom with me. Anthony Millerano.
It'll be weird, dude.
The pair posed for pictures. Juju said this, got a DM from him a while back about needing someone to go with, decided why not, had a Liddy night, that's what he said, Liddy night at his school. The mother of another student who attended the prom told WPXI TV in Pittsburgh that Anthony invited Smith Schmuster after his previous date broke up with him prior to prom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah. You're the worst. You're the worst, girl.
Dude.
Come
Getting
on.
broke up before prom after you already knew.
That's harsh.
After you pretty much thought that you were going to go with him.
My dude Anthony rebounded, though.
He did. He did. He brought Juju with him. I can only imagine what they went through. Juju posted on Twitter, and then he said, with my bro, I got a DM from him a while back, blah, about needing someone to go with. Decided why not, had a lady night at school. YouTube video coming soon. So they took a full-on video of this experience. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm sure it's going to do better than any of our shows. And
For sure. For sure.
So,
Dude, so did you see his suit?
yeah.
Him and they had matching suits.
And
And they were dope.
I'm pretty sure Juju pretty much paid for him and his friend's experience. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
Juju didn't just, like, pay for everything.
Just ball out. Yeah, I mean, it looked like him and his friends. Like, I don't know if you saw all the pictures, but he took, a couple pictures with Juju, him and Juju, and it was pretty like manly. They just kind of stood there together, and then like they took other pictures where it was him and Juju, and then like everybody else was couples, so they were all coupled up, hugged up, and then him and Juju are just sitting there like this, looking all like duded out, But and then at the prom, this was my favorite part of everything. What'd you think about this, Anthony? At the prom, did you see this? Did you watch this video I sent you?
No, not yet. No.
So this video is hilarious. So all about this A-B situation going on, Out of nowhere, all the students started chanting, F-A-B, F-A-B, F-A-B. In the middle of the song on the dance floor,
Oh,
Juju's like
that's awesome.
breaking it down. He's dancing like he's going nuts, and they're like F-A-B, F-A-B, but they're actually saying fuck. Like they're like this
they're
is
saying
high
the whole thing. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're in a whole different, generation. There's a whole different.
Dude, you didn't drop F-bombs at
Moral
your
code.
prom? Your prom sucked.
I guess we weren't. What am I thinking? What am I
I'm
saying?
just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, we cussed during the songs, but that was about it. No F-A-B. That would have been awesome. Juju, 2018, he had a record year, 111 catches, 1,400 plus yards, 7 touchdowns. That basically all took him to his first Pro Bowl. I mean, dude is a stud. He's a real deal. It's unfortunate that AB couldn't stay with that team because, that's magic, having those two there. But, it's not anymore. Moving on. But
That was a pretty good. It was a pretty good feel good story for them, though.
yeah, good for Anthony.
For Juju.
Anthony, brother. Yeah, that's cool. So, anyways, sorry, I feel weird. I feel tainted after that. I'm gonna rewind that. That's gonna get cut from this. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can find anything Amplified Network on all of our social media platforms. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, and we're on Facebook. So make sure you like and subscribe to everything that is Amplified Network so you're always plugged in to all of our shows. We have some cool shows coming out soon. We have the Sit Down, where I get to sit down with some cool people, artists, extraordinary stories, and we just do one-on-one interviews, man, and it's cool. They're ordinary people just living out their dreams, and it's really cool. And then we also have another show coming where we teamed up with another podcast, Happy Hour Podcast with Johnny and Deuce, and we're going to take some of their audio clips, add a PowerPoint to it, and it's going to be fun. You guys are going to, like, Tyler, do you remember Al Snow?
That name sounds familiar.
He was the old wrestler, Al Snow.
Oh,
He used to carry the head out to the ring. What does everybody want? What does everybody need? Head.
God.
So they interviewed
I
him.
would not have been able to.
They interviewed him, which is really cool. They got to have an interview with him, and so the first show that we're going to do with them, we're going to play that interview for you live on Amplified Network, which is really cool. Well, I mean, it's pre-recorded, but we're playing it live. So anyways, but yeah, T-Dubs, you got some shout-outs?
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, you can find me on theturfsports.com. That's theturfsports.com. My name is Tyler Williams, putting out a bunch of articles. Got some great NFL stuff dropping this week as well, so make sure to check that out. Always check that out. If you want to find me here as well, I'm on Amplified Network here, 60 Minute Suspension with Amp, Tuesdays at 9. So, yeah. For sure.
Yeah, make sure you get plugged in with us, guys. And also, please go download our podcasts. Go listen to them. We're on Spotify. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on iTunes Podcasts. Go check us out. Go listen to past shows. Go figure out where our roots are from. All you got to do is search 60 Minutes Suspension. That's 60 minutes suspension. If you don't know how to spell that, Google it. But yeah, just make sure that you find us and listen to us, man. Go back, listen to past shows. I do it all the time. It's really cool. And then we also got a sponsor on there as well. So that's why I'm pushing this really hard. So make sure you go check us out. But anyways, thank you guys so much. This is a pleasure. T-Dubs.
Yo, it's been a pleasure for everybody. I really enjoyed. Hope everybody. Shout out to Robert, Zach, whoever else viewed us today. Thanks for dropping in.
Sweet. We will see you guys later.